those students who can't make it, and we can send the recording out to them afterwards. So thank you very much everyone for joining today. I'm delighted to be hosting a teaching panel with some experts in the sector. So I'm joined today by Rosetta Robinson, who's a Director of Teacher Training at London District East Teaching School Hub, Stuart Mundy, who is the Chief Officer for Performance and Operations at Mulberry Schools Trust, Laura Sally, who is the Explore Teaching Advisor for Get Into Teaching, and we're also joined by Lara Riyad, who is one of the Early Talent Officers at Teach First. There's going to be a few slides in this presentation, so I'll just get the presentation up and then hand over to Laura. Just give me 1 second. Can everyone see that okay? Yep.
Yeah, that's perfectly fine.
Yeah. Okay.
Great. Perfect. So yeah, I will hand over to you, Laura, now, and of course, just let me know when you want the next slide.
Okay, thank you, Nathan. Hi, everybody. Welcome, and thanks for having me. My name is Laura Sally, and I work for Get Into Teaching as an Explore Teaching Advisor. So Get Into Teaching is a service offered by the DFE, and we are here to promote teaching as a career, to help people discover teaching, and we also offer an advisory service to help you get into teaching. My background is in teaching. I taught for 20 years modern foreign languages, and now I work as an advisor. Next slide, Nathan, please. So I've already explained who we are and what we do, but I'll explain a little bit more about the service we offer. Next slide, please. Thank you. So basically, Get Into Teaching help people to discover teaching as a career. We work quite a lot on campus, but what you might be interested today is to know that we offer a free advisory service. All our advisors are experienced teachers who have had loads of different responsibilities in school and who have also been involved very often in teacher training. So what we offer is that if you decide to explore teaching as a career, or you have already decided to apply, you can sign up for our advisory service, and basically you get assigned an advisor who will be always the same one for you. You get to build a relationship with them, and they help you navigate which option is the best for you to teach, understand maybe visa, funding, etc., and will help you also and support you with your application. So, for example, we offer a personal statement review service. We can also help you to get some school experience. What's important to remember is that we support every single pathways into teaching, and you are going to hear from many wonderful course providers after me. And our advice is completely neutral. We won't tell you to go with one advisor over another, because basically choosing the way you decide to train is really personal and it's really down to you. What we provide for you is the tools to help you decide and support you with your application. So because we cover all the pathways into teaching, our advice is basically neutral. And the good news is that it's also free. Next slide, please. So I've explained already what we can offer. We have different type of advisor. It depends basically how close or how far you are from deciding to go into teaching. It is proven that having an advisor helps you to be more successful with your application. So as I said, it's a free service, so it's a really good idea to get one. Next slide, please. So this is roughly how we are organized. I'm an Explore teaching advisor, so I tend to work with first and second year student or people who are in third year of a 4-year degree. And we also have teacher training advisor who basically help you to build up towards that application. So typically looked after postgrad or third year student, but also career changer. The contact we have with you, it's up to you what suits your lifestyle. Some people like phone call, WhatsApp, Teams, wherever you are, we can help you and communicate with you. Contact are regular, but also work around, what's going on in your life. And I think that's it from me for the moment. I will explain how to sign up for an advisor towards the end, and I'm going to hand over to all our wonderful course provider we've got today with us.
Thank you, Laura. Yes, I should have mentioned at the start that the first half of this session is sort of the why go into teaching and how we can support you to do that, and then we'll be going into sort of the how to apply to these various schemes later. So I will pass on to Stuart next.
Oh, hi everyone, and thank you for the invitation to talk to you. I'm the Chief Officer of Performance and Operations for Mulberry Schools Trust. We're a multi-academy trust, primarily based in Tower Hamlets. So actually a lot of our students go to Queen Mary University of London from our sixth forms. I work across our schools with our head teachers. So our trust has 8 schools, 2 primary and 6 secondary schools. We deal with schools. All our schools are in areas of social deprivation, and so our kind of mission and vision really is to change lives for the better, and by educating our young people, you are contributing to that. Half of our children and our young people are pupil premium, so they are free school meal students, or they have been at some point in the last 5 years. And when we're thinking about our kind of future workforce, we're looking for teachers and people who want to change lives, and they want to do something that's going to be engaging and exciting, but also contribute to change and society as a whole. So would you move on, Nathan? Thank you. So I suppose the first part really is to talk to you about why would you want to teach, and then in the second part of the session it's about how you get into teaching and the different routes into teaching. So obviously you've already thought about becoming a teacher, otherwise you wouldn't have joined the session. But I've been a teacher for 35 years now. I'm in my 35th year as a science teacher. I started my teaching career in Camden, and I've worked all over London, and I cannot say enough how brilliant being a teacher is. It really is. I don't get to have a teaching timetable now, but I do still do a lot of work in our schools with our heads and with our young people, and I still do teaching when I can, and it's still the best part of the job. It's really good fun. You get the opportunity to make a difference. Every day is completely different. It is not a typical job. It's got really, really good opportunities for career progression, for taking responsibility. It's seen as a really respectable career now for people in communities. And I cannot say enough how brilliant teaching is. And just some examples really of things that you can get involved in if you teach. You know, it's a vocation. So for example, we have a partnership with Mercedes Grand Prix, the Formula One team, and so for our young teachers who are new teachers who are training and are in year 1, 2 and 3, they get the opportunity to be involved in the STEM Academy, which is a partnership with Mercedes. We visit the F1 factory, we take them on work experience, we design and build green electric powered cars. It's just an example of things that you can do as a teacher outside your normal kind of teaching timetable. We also run the East London Teaching School Hub, which offer all of the professional qualifications and induction arrangements for new teachers in Hackney and Tower Hamlets. And we're also delivering teacher training provisions. So we do a PGCE in English, and we may well in the future do a second subject. But I suppose my point really is that as a teacher coming new into the profession, you've got the opportunity to do something incredible, and you are developed professionally and given kind of personal growth and professional opportunities. There is a significant shortage of teachers, which you will be aware of. It means, and particularly in science and maths, and it does mean that, as a young teacher, you have real opportunities there to select where you want to go and work, what type of school you want to work in, and you will get professional development and responsibility very quickly if you want it. So many of our young teachers new into the profession will be in positions of responsibility very quickly. Actually, if you want it and you're good, you will be professionally developed. So, good luck with it should you wish to teach. We're always privileged that people are taking on board, the idea of teaching. It is really life-changing, and I know you probably think the no criticism to the national campaigns for teaching, but it is life-changing and transformational when you teach, and you feel it when you're teaching every day of the week. Thank you, Nathan.
Thank you so much, Stuart. We'll move on to Rosetta now, who will tell us a bit more about the London District East Teaching School Hub offer.
Hello, everybody. It's lovely to be here. Thank you for inviting me. My name's Rosetta. I'm Director of Teacher Training at London District East Teaching School Hub. And we work with Ambition Institute as a delivery partner for a number of programmes. So London District East Teaching School Hub, we are one of 87 teaching school hubs designated across the country. Each region has its own teaching school hub. There are a number in London. We've got the geographical area of mainly schools in Barking and Dagenham, Havering and Newham, but a lot of our schools are in larger multi-academy trusts, so we do spill over into partner schools in Hackney, Tower Hamlets and Waltham Forest. And what we do is we deliver high quality continued professional development for teachers at every stage of their career. So people starting out training to be a teacher right through to CEOs. And we hope to really help our teachers with the evidence base, evidence-informed training that they need to keep getting better so that they can really make a difference to our children and their life chances across East London. So we work in partnership with Ambition Institute. They are a national institution and they provide professional development programs for teachers and school leaders. And they have a really cutting edge evidence-based professional development program for teachers and school leaders for all stages of your career. Like I said, from trainee teachers, early career teachers, through to leadership, heads and CEOs. And they believe that people are key to affecting real change in education. The research shows that having a really good quality teacher in front of the children makes the biggest difference in terms of the outcomes. And every child should have the opportunity to thrive regardless of their background. And so helping educators improve is the key to unlocking those better outcomes for our children. So the programs that we offer at the Teaching School Hub, we offer initial teacher training, which I know is what you're interested in, hopefully. We're a founding partner with Ambition. It's the first year that we've run their program. It's a really exciting program. Our trainees are enjoying it hugely this year. We're one of the largest delivery partners for this new program, and we work with schools across East London in some of the boroughs mentioned there. But in addition to that, we also offer the early career teacher program. So once you've qualified, once you've done your 1 year teacher training, initial teacher training, you then become what's called an ECT, early career teacher, and you have an entitlement to a 2-year induction program. So again, we offer this across our boroughs. With Ambition, the ECT program. So there's real continuity in terms of your training. And then later on in your career, we also offer the full suite of what's called national professional qualifications. And they are recognised national qualifications in the education sector. So you can do, for example, an NPQ in leading teaching, or you can focus in on special educational needs, or you might want to look at becoming a senior leader later in your career. And so we offer all of those qualifications as well. So in terms of our teacher training programme, we've been offering high quality teacher training for 10 years. In our last Ofsted, we were rated outstanding in all areas, and we're well established and respected across East London. We work, we have a lot of alumni from Queen Mary. We've got a number in our current cohort, and have had many across the years now teaching and leading in our local schools. And what makes our programme work is the strong partnership of schools that we work with. We work with a large number of schools across East London, and we've got excellent completion rates. I'm delighted to say last year everyone completed 100%, and everyone is now in an ECT role, mainly in East London, mainly in the schools in which they trained, but also in neighbouring boroughs. So excellent employment rates. We really support all our trainees to find their first role. And of course, there's career progression, as Stuart was talking about earlier, within the teaching profession. A lot of our trainees then go on to become mentors for our programme, and we've got many former trainees who are now senior leaders, deputy heads and assistant heads in our schools. So the programme itself, how does it support you? Well, it's a really high quality curriculum with a great balance, a blended model of theory and then the practice. You train mainly in one school, and the learning is really chunked. So you'll have a mentor by your side throughout the programme. You'll have time to rehearse. So we practice a lot on this programme. We practice in your central clinics where you come together with the other trainees. Then you practice in smaller groups back in your schools, just with the 3 or 4 trainees in your school. And then you're ready when you stand in front of that classroom because you've practiced, and you get that constant feedback from your mentor throughout. There's pastoral care from your ITT coordinator, and the program's really worked hard to balance that workload because we know that's a big issue within education. So there are lots of routes into teaching. You'll hear about many today. We try to sort of think about what might make our programme slightly different from others. And it's the fact that you do most of your training in one school, because the research shows that having fewer transitions can actually help. So you're just learning one set of staff, one set of pupils, one approach to teaching and learning, and it really gives you that chance to build those build those relationships with your pupils, with the staff, with the families and the wider community. And by the end of the training, you'll have that confidence to teach in a classroom on your own. So we do offer both primary and secondary. I know today's session is mainly looking at STEM in teaching, so I've highlighted the STEM subjects which we offer, but we do offer the primary both full-time and part-time, the secondary full-time only at the moment, and our course leads to QTS, qualified teacher status, and a PGC accredited by Liverpool Hope University. This is the overview of our program. So you can see that in summer you'll visit your placement school, you'll have an induction conference, and then when the course starts, you're in your main placement school for pretty much the whole year. There are the odd placement days spread out across the year. There's a short second school placement in summer term, and you can see that your independent teaching gradually increases throughout the year. So you start off maybe working with a group of pupils, maybe doing some team teaching, and you slowly build your practice so that by the end of the year, you're teaching about 80% of a full timetable. Could we click to the next one? Because I think it's mainly secondary, isn't it, here today? This is a classic secondary trainee timetable. So you start the week with your weekly study package. You do that online. Then you come to the centre for your central talk clinics. One week it's professional studies. The alternate week it's subject studies. And then you're back in school and your mentor will give you what's called instructional coaching every week, which is feedback on your teaching and looking at targets for you to work on. Then there's some workload and wellbeing support, and then there's the school support, which might be team teaching with other colleagues, observing other colleagues, really learning on the job, school-based training. And that's it in a nutshell in terms of what London District East offers. It's often referred to as the golden thread. ITT is a key stage in the golden thread. So by joining the ITT programme, you start on this interwoven sequence of professional development. So it includes initial teacher training, moving on to early career programme, and then perhaps later national professional qualifications. And we offer all of those at London District East. I think I'm going to talk a little bit later about how you actually apply, but that's it for now. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Rosetta. Sorry, I've got a bit of a cough. We'll move on to Laura from Teach First now, if that's okay.
Thanks, Nathan. Hi, everyone. My name is Laura, and I'm an Early Talent Officer at Teach First. My role includes attracting graduates and supporting them before they start on the teacher training program. I'm so really excited to be here today to share what Teach First has to offer with you. But next slide, please. So Teach First is an education charity, and our aim is to end education inequality in the UK because we don't think that it's fair that a child's postcode or background should determine their future potential. And since 2003, we've been fighting to make our education system work for every child. We run several different programs in order to achieve that, to achieve great teachers. We also support existing teachers into developing into brilliant leaders, ultimately leading to thriving schools. But that all starts with great teachers, and that's where our teacher training program comes in. Next slide, please. So what is the Teach First training program? We offer a 2-year, fully salaried, fully funded route into teaching, where you work, train, and qualify as a teacher in one of our partner schools. You also get access to world-class training and support. Our training has been rated outstanding by Ofsted. But most importantly, you get to make a difference from day one in the classroom. The schools that we work with are schools that are facing the toughest challenges in the UK, schools that have a high proportion of students who come from underserved backgrounds, where you can really make a difference. And with our program, you get stuck in from day one and you really get to be at the forefront of societal change. Next slide, please. So in terms of what you get on our program, you get a fully funded PGCE and qualified teacher status. You also get an optional master's degree at a reduced cost. So we offer a master's degree in educational leadership. So if you would want to pursue a master's, we can help you get there at a discount. You also get a salary from day one, and that also increases in your second year. And you get invaluable transferable skills. The skills that you gain on our teacher training program really are very transferable, very invaluable, no matter what career direction you want to go into, whether you want to stay in teaching or whether you want to branch out later down the line. The skills that you gain really do support you in your career progression. You also get a lot of support from Teach First, the school, and our wider network as well. And finally, you get connections to our corporate partners, including Amazon, Deloitte, and Goldman Sachs. just to name a few, and they offer exclusive coaching opportunities and paid internships to our trainees as well. Next slide, please. So in terms of how the program is structured, you start off at Summer Institute, which is a 5-week intensive training period in the summer that gives you a really solid foundation before you start working in school. It's a blend of online and in-person learning. You get to learn both the theories behind teaching, but also practical strategies that you can put in place in the classroom. So behavior management strategies, lesson planning, managing your time. And it really does give you that solid foundation. Then you start in school in September. So on our program, you're based in the same school for 2 years. And from September, you are in it from day one as a teacher. The kids don't know that you're a trainee, which means that you really get to have that responsibility, which is really great if you're looking for a job where you can get stuck in from day one, really make an impact. It can also sound a little bit daunting as well, but you do get a lot of support on our program. So in your first year, you're only, oh, sorry, we go back, thanks. Don't worry. In your first year, you're only teaching 60 to 80% of a qualified teacher's timetable. And you also get a mentor in the same department with you who you meet with regularly for structured professional development, but they're also there on hand for any questions or issues that come up. And you also get 2 Teach First mentors as well, who used to be ex-teachers, and their job is now to support trainees on our program. So you'll get 2 of those, one who taught the same subject that you're currently teaching, and one who is there for more practical aspects of teaching rather than subject-specific aspects. But by the end of the first year, you become a fully qualified teacher, you get your QTS, and you get your PGCE. Next slide, please. So in the summer, between your first and second year, you get the option to complete a summer project, which are 1 to 3 week paid internships with our corporate partners that I mentioned previously. And these opportunities are available to you in the first and second year of the program, but also beyond. So if you want to take that first summer holiday after your first year of teaching to just chill and relax and get a well-deserved break, don't worry, you're not going to miss out because these opportunities are available to you forever, essentially. And then you get to go back into the same school in your second year as a fully qualified teacher. Your salary goes up and you also get some more responsibility as well. It's very common that a lot of our trainees get additional responsibility in their second year, and your progression opportunities with Teach First are really amazing. A lot of our ambassadors are in senior leadership. You progress really quickly because of those transferable skills that you gain, and because you're in it from day one, you just develop those skills so quickly. And by the end of the second year, you become an ambassador, which means you get access to all of our ambassador networks and community as well, which is just joining a mission of people who are really dedicated to ending education inequality, no matter what direction they decide their career to go in. Next slide, please. So in terms of how to apply, we are currently open for applications, but for limited subjects and locations. So if you are interested in applying to our program, I would really recommend doing so soon, specifically if you're hoping to be based in London, because it is our most popular location. But our application process is very straightforward. It starts off with an online application form, which is based with 4 competency-based questions and a situational judgment task as well. And if you're successful in that first stage, you go on to our development centre, which you can do in person in our London office in Greenwich or online, completely up to you. And that consists of an individual interview, a group case study task, and you also deliver a mini lesson. We give you some feedback on that lesson, and then you deliver it again, showing us how you've received the feedback. But if you're interested in applying, which you can do so through that QR code on the slide, what I'd really recommend is utilizing our application management support. So we have a dedicated application management team who are there to support trainees throughout the application process. You can attend a workshop before your development centre to know exactly how to prepare, what to expect on the day. You really do get a lot of support to help you succeed in the application. So definitely make use of that, because we have found that our applicants who utilize our application management support are 33% more likely to move up into the second stage in our application. And finally, if you're successful on the day, you get an offer for a subject and a location. So for example, you could get maths in London, And then you'd find out the specific school that you'd be based in around June time, but we would have a conversation with you about your location preferences, where exactly within London you're hoping to be based as well, and we'll take that all into account when matching you to a school. But I believe that is everything from me. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Laura. And if any of the students here have any questions about Teach First or the programme, Laura will be sticking around, and just please put your questions in the chat. We will get to them. We've got about 20 or 15 minutes at the end of the session for questions, so please don't be shy. As you can probably tell, we're onto the application part of the session, so I will hand back over to Rosetta to talk about how to apply to London District East.
Hello again, everyone. Yes, so we're just going to go through the application process, which can be a bit daunting. So I'd like to talk you through it. And then, like Nathan said, we can take questions later on. So in order to train to teach, you must have a GCSE at grade 4 or grade C in English and maths for secondary or equivalent. If you apply for primary, you'll also need that in science. You'll need a degree, of course. You're all on a degree course at the moment. We say 2 or above. We do look at specific cases. If you did get a third, we can often look at what happened behind there. And we've had many teachers that came through on a third who've gone on to be absolutely fantastic teachers. So don't let that 2 put you off from applying. You need the right to work in the UK for the duration of the course. So it's a 1-year programme, so you need permission to work in the UK full-time for the duration of your programme. We don't currently offer sponsor visas. And in terms of funding, there are bursaries for certain secondary subjects. The primary course is generally fee-paying. However, if you have a school to sponsor you and you've agreed this with the head teacher, you may be able to secure a salaried place. And in secondary, like I say, there are bursaries, which we'll look at later. There is a QR code if you want to just take a quick snap of that. That takes you straight to our application link, our portal. And there we have it again. Sorry, we can jump to the next slide. So applying to London District East, you'll need your details, your contact details, your course selection, so which phase you want, which subject where applicable, whether you're looking for part-time or full-time or a salaried place. Then, like we said, your qualifications, GCSEs, A-level, you don't actually have to put that in, but it does boost your application if you put that in. And of course, your degree result or your predicted degree. And then just declaring your confirmation of right to work. Then you'll need proof of your eligibility. So when you come to interview, or sometimes if your interviews have been online, we do that face-to-face later on, where you'd come into the central offices and provide us with the documents. So a valid passport, your UK work visa, or your share code, your GCSE or equivalent certificates, and your degree certificate. And you'll also need to upload these documents onto the portal to check so that we can see the originals against that. Then there are some online tests. They're only 20 questions each. They're just an indication of your subject knowledge in the various areas. They're not a pass or fail situation at all. And what they do is they inform us, if you were to be successful on the course, where you might need to do some extra work in terms of developing your subject knowledge. So there are general tests in maths and English for all candidates. And for secondary, there is a subject-specific check as well. But these aren't scary exams or anything like that. They really are just to help you plan out your subject knowledge development when you come on the programme. In terms of the assessment centre, we run them both at the centre or online, or sometimes at our partner schools. And there'll always be a structured interview and a teaching role play. And we share some of those questions with you in advance because we're not trying to catch you out in any way. We want to see you at your absolute best. So we like to give you an opportunity to prepare those questions in advance. And there's also a teaching role play activity where you get into role as a teacher and teach your subject in your phase, and we go into the role of the pupils if you want. And all that information is provided, and there's a little video explaining all of that for you. And then hopefully we make you an offer, and we work with you to ensure the right placement school. We look at your postcode and we match it against all our partner schools and find one that you're happy with. Then we can complete all your DBS and health checks, and then you're enrolled in the programme and ready to go. And that really is a process in a nutshell. And here's a little visual just to see the process. So the first of all is just checking your eligibility, then deciding what you'd like to teach, which phase, which subject, then submitting your application, and then we check those eligibility documents and invite you into interview, and then hopefully give you an offer. We spoke about bursaries. You can find out more about this on the Department for Education website, but in STEM subjects, there are some very attractive secondary bursaries. So for chemistry, computing, maths and physics, there's a £29,000 tax-free bursary, which you do not have to pay back. Biology and DT, there's £26,000 bursary, for example. There are also scholarships available for those who have a 2-1 or above in the subject they wish to teach. Those come from some of the societies. So, for example, I'm trying to think of the Geography Society does the Geography Scholarship, etc. So really worth thinking about. You can go into that's for the fee, the self-fee paying route, a bursary, but schools can also use those bursaries to salary you, and we do offer both. I remember that was just an indication of teacher pay. It is an attractive profession to come into for all sorts of reasons, but people don't often think of pay as being one of them. Well, actually, look at how quickly you can progress in this profession. So in London, the starting salary is actually a little bit more than that, but after about 4 or 5 years, you're earning around £43,000 to £45,000. And if you take on an additional responsibility, you could earn up to an extra 16,000. And then later on in your career, when you become a leading practitioner or a senior leader, you can quickly fall into the 50,000 plus bracket. And as a head teacher, you could be earning quite a bit more. So I just thought that's worth sharing. And other benefits, aside from making a massive difference to the lives of the children that you teach, which is the main benefit, and it's what gives us the greatest sort of pleasure in what we do. All teachers are absolutely dedicated to their profession. It's a vocation. It's not a 9-to-5 job at all. But other little benefits to consider alongside that: the holidays, doing the things that you love, spending time with the people that matter. If you compare, for example, a full-time teacher works 195 days a year compared to, on average, if you worked in an office full-time, 227 days a year. Teaching comes with an amazing pension. It includes an employer contribution of 28.6%, not to be scoffed at. And of course, as we all mentioned, there's amazing career progression opportunities where you can take your interests and really hone them and become subject leads, heads of department, SEND specialists, etc. I've got a couple of videos here. I don't know how much time we've got. Have we got time to play one video from one of our current trainees, Nathan?
Yeah, I think we've got time for
Yeah.
one. Do you have a preference?
Amazing. Maybe we could do Amira right on the right-hand side.
Let me know if you can hear the sound okay.
I think she may have come from Queen Mary.
Can you hear music?
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you. That brings me to the end of the apply. And there's our QR code one more time, just in case you want to take a quick pic. Thank you.
Brilliant. Thank you, Rosetta. And we'll go back to Stuart now to talk to us a little bit more about how you can apply the various routes that you can use to sort of start a career with Mulberry as well.
Thank you, Nathan. So everyone's already heard from Teach First. I mean, I'm just going through how our teachers arrive with us in our schools. So we do a lot of work with Teach First. All of our schools partner with Teach First, and so we will have quite a significant number of our teachers who trained with us, who then after the 2 years took a permanent position with us. And we have a number of colleagues who, including head teachers actually, who have been on that scheme. The second option obviously is to do a PGCE with a provider and then do a teaching practice. So we work with a whole range of different providers, and we will, if we have very good PGCE students, we will advertise positions and encourage them to apply. And so we have a number of teachers who will have done that route. And then obviously the third route, which we haven't spent much time on this afternoon, is that you can still apply for a teaching position as an unqualified teacher, as a graduate, and to take that route into teaching. And then what the school will do is put you on to training via a provider such as Equalitas or other providers who will then do the training part of being an unqualified teacher in school. And the schools would typically advertise those jobs as unqualified teacher positions, or you would apply and then get a job through that route. Now, different people, those options are, the benefits of doing each of those schemes are different for different people, and you choose which route your preferred route is based on whether you wish to have a salary, whether you want to do teaching practice placements. From our perspective as a school, we're not suggesting one way or another is better. We're just more interested in supporting any graduates who wish to teach. What I would say is that whichever route you decide you want to do, but particularly for unqualified teachers, most of our unqualified teachers who start with us would typically have been a teaching assistant in our schools or a learning mentor in our schools, and we've then seen the potential for them to teach. They've decided that they want to teach, and so there are a number of options to get into teaching via taking a role as a teaching assistant for a year, or a learning mentor, or a cover supervisor, and then getting some experience in the classroom, deciding that this job is for you, and then taking an unqualified teacher position, getting the training, and then getting QTS through that route. So if you're interested in that route, it's always worth building your voluntary experience, even if you can't commit to very much. The more you can show experience of being in the classroom and being in schools volunteering, the better your application. So there are a number of ways you can do that by approaching schools directly and offering to do some voluntary work, or asking schools and saying, I'm really interested in becoming a teacher. What I would suggest, though, if you're wanting to do that, is to try to get to use your networks to know who to contact, because schools get hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of emails with CVs from people who are interested in teaching. And some are really good at keeping on top of that and responding. Others sometimes think, well, actually, I'm getting too many of them. And so if you can build some personal contacts, it helps. So if you know, we're always open to, if anyone wishes following this, to email and say, can I get some voluntary experience in any of your schools? Just email me, or that email address at the bottom, ITT. So if you want to take my email address down and keep contact with us, we're more than happy to arrange for you to do some voluntary experience. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Stuart. So yeah, if anybody wants to connect with Stuart and take advantage of those opportunities, it sounds like a really good idea. Talking about the importance of experience, I'll move on to our final section of this presentation now. Thank you, Law, for your patience. And Law is going to talk to us a bit about the teaching internships offered by the Department for Education.
I just also wanted to emphasize, and I totally agree with Stuart, that getting some experience is a really good idea to find out simply if teaching is the right career for you. But if you don't have any experience, you also need to understand that by law, school experience is not compulsory to apply. However, we still recommend it, like Stuart did. It's a really good move to get some. And I just wanted to mention to you the teaching internship we offer. We offer them in STEM subject, as you can see, and they are open to undergrads and master student, where you basically spend 3 weeks in a school in June, July, experiencing what it's like to be a teacher. You do quite a lot of teaching assistant support to start with. You also get to attend little workshop about, you know, the basic of lesson planning, classroom management, and according to the level of confidence, I guess, you get the opportunity to teach either a small group, a part of a lesson, or a whole lesson by the 3rd week. So it's a great opportunity. Next slide, please, Nathan. Thank you. So this is quite a few things that former interns have said. What I haven't mentioned yet, but you can see now, is that it's also paid £425 a week. It's open also to international students. The only thing you need to do if you are an international student is to ensure that your end of term is actually that it's finished, so you can complete the internship full time. If that's not the case and you are on a student visa, maybe you could potentially negotiate. Some school can be quite flexible, you know, to basically just do 20 hours a week and spread your internship on a few more weeks. It's a great experience. Even if you find out during that experience that you teaching is not for you, I think that anybody who's been in the classroom has developed loads of different skills, and I think it would look great in a CV in any case, because when you say sometimes you're a teacher, it just impresses quite a lot of people because of all the skills that you have to work with youngsters and be in the classroom. So as advisor, we can help you also to apply. It's on our website. I'll put the link directly to the internship. And I've done also for Queen Mary a little video about how to apply successfully for an internship. So Nathan can, I'm sure, signpoint you to that at the end of the session for anybody interested. Next slide, please, Nathan. So here's the link for the internship. Please do hurry, because they do tend to close if they're full, and they've been open for a while. If not this year, you can always look into next year, hopefully. And also they tend to close by the end of April at the latest, because you need a DBS to work with youngsters, obviously. So that takes time to have it ready by June. Next slide, please. This is the QR code or the link to get an advisor. As I've said at the beginning, we cover every single pathways. We can also help you to navigate visas, funding, etc. if it is something you need to have. And I think that's it for me. Thank you, Nathan.
Thank you, Laura, and thank you to all of our panelists for providing such in-depth, interesting and motivational, to be honest, insights into the teaching profession and the application process as well. I'm aware that we've got just under 10 minutes left, so I'm just going to stop recording, but if anybody has any